Ofa ma wache.
Ma ajozo.
Pacho na ho ye de.
Oh boko ho.
Ofa mpacho o ma dodo ye sen.
Me ma na omo ye 7.
Omo ye 7.
Ah.
Ti panyin pa wo mu no wan.
Ono o kura.
O kura. Enti bodi sen.
Odi 18 years.
18. Na ketwa pa na di sen.
Onya 16.
16. Ana me Jesus ketwa na di 2.
Ketwa pa na. 2.
2 years. Enti mpacho enkra na ahen bio na wode beka ho.
Oh. Me ye ma aye ka ye ma me. Ba bia ma pem no. Ka ye.
Ba obesan de bia ka ho bio. Obewo bia ka ho.
Ka me mpese me wo na Nyankopon asem nti bia na me mpe na nyame ade ma me nti.
Nti nyame de ode ma wa. Ode ma wa obewo.
Me ye ma ka me mpe ka apema no. Na nyame sise nti na me ntimi nka se e bia.
Nti nyame
me yem de ka ye.
Ba nyame de ma ode obesom.
Wo de mam de mbesom na me yende.
Ba onim sa family planning wo ho.
Menem say wo ho de meti say wo ho. Na membo menim ni su nti ana akotom ho aso ne bi ni ho.
Okay. Ene bepe bia bro why? Hello, good evening. This is Radiant Parenting. You are welcome to our bi-monthly program dubbed My Parenting Journey. Radiant Parenting is dedicated to championing raising children who impact generations for our soon coming King. And today we have a wonderful guest with us. He's a man of God that I will introduce to you very soon. But before I continue with the introduction, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel so that you continue to receive worthwhile, life transforming information as a parent. Parenting is something that is so crucial. So we believe that parenting has to be planned, it has to be intentional, and it has to be purposeful. So for you to execute your mandate very well as a parent, you need the right information, and that's what we are here to do this evening and for many more days to come. So please don't hesitate, subscribe to our channel. Good. Today we are having our program dubbed My Parenting Journey. Parenting is a journey. How well have you performed on this journey? It's a tough journey, but others have been able to go through the difficulties, the twists and the turns, the challenging and difficult times. And this evening in our program, or on our program, we have a father, a great man of God. Can you imagine? He blessed my marriage 20 years ago. So he's indeed a father. He's blessed my marriage, and I've been blessed with 5 beautiful children. Today, he's coming to share his experience as a parent with us. He's a man of God, a former international mission director of the Church of Pentecost. Yes, the Church of Pentecost. He was the immediate past area head for Church of Pentecost Acho area. He's a man married with, I think, 4 beautiful children, if I'm not mistaken. Dear ones, let's welcome on stage a man of God, a father, the retired minister of God, Apostle Emmanuel J.C. Addo. Hello, Daddy, you are welcome. Daddy, we can't hear you. I think you have to unmute.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Do you hear me now?
Yes, please, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. Good. How are you? The line keeps breaking anyway, but I think you manage it.
Yeah, we'll manage. You are welcome to Radiant
Yeah.
Parenting.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so honored to have you on this program. And I was telling our audience that you blessed my marriage 20 years ago. Actually, 4th September will be 20 years. So almost 20
Oh,
years ago.
oh, so soon. It's already 20 years.
Yes,
I don't even. I don't. Wow, so soon.
so
We
soon.
thank God. We thank
Yes,
God.
yeah. So, how are you doing? How is life at retirement?
Oh, by God's grace, we are doing well. Both mommy and I, we are doing well, and I'm enjoying the retirement. Um, Seeing that you are not in the thick of affairs as far as running a church is concerned. Now you take your time to do things at your own pace.
Yeah.
It's very, very good, very refreshing. It takes a lot of stress off you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I must say I'm enjoying retirement. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. We thank God for your life and the impact you made when you were in active ministry. I always remember your powerful sermons and the series you
Yeah.
had on God is here. I always remember that. Good. Now to our
Yes.
program.
Yeah.
Can you tell us who your parents were and how was your growing up like?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for having me. And I want to commend you and your team for this program. I've not heard of it before, and when I tuned in, so Radiant Parenting, I was excited. I think it's
Okay.
a very good program.
Thank
So I
you.
want to commend you to keep on keeping on.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I I was born in Accra, but my parents were late Elder Ferdinand Ado, Jesse Ado, and then my mom, who is still alive, is Madame Grace Afo, who must be about 97, 98 now.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, she is still alive. So I was born in Accra. My mom tells me I was born at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital
Okay.
in around Christmas time, 26th of December 1958. So a day after Christmas.
Okay.
So growing up, she used to call me Kofi Bronya because I was born at Christmas time.
Okay.
But I grew up in our hometown at Aguna Nyakrom in the central region.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's about my parents. Uh, I don't
Okay.
know if I should continue to tell you,
That's
how
fine.
was my growing up like.
Exactly. Would like to know that one too.
Okay.
How many siblings do you
Yeah.
have?
I have until 2021. All my siblings were alive. We had seven by my mom, um, but my father had older children
Okay.
who are no more.
Mm.
Yeah, but my mom's side, we are we were seven. We are all alive until the last one rather passed 3 years ago in
Okay.
2021. So the rest of us are still around. But as I said, I grew up with my mom and my grandma in our
Okay.
hometown. Yes, for some reason, my dad was not was not with us when I was growing up. So my mom and my grandma, they raised me, especially my grandma. And then I think when I was class five or so, no, at 5 years
Okay.
or six, no, 6, 7, around 6, 7 years. Let's say about 7 years. My father, who had started farming in the Western region, uh, came to our hometown, brought and took us to where he had settled as a farmer in the Western region,
Okay.
around the Manso Amefi area, around Bogoso side. Yes, and the village we were was called Dominase, and we used to walk about 2 or 3 hours. About I don't know, because I was very small, around 7 years, 8 years. We used to walk about 3 hours to school every day.
Wow.
We woke up around 4 a.m. Yeah, we woke up around 4 a.m. and then we had to walk all the way. I come after twins. My
Okay.
my my big sister Alberta and my big brother Albert, and then me, the terrier.
Okay.
So as I said, I was around 7, 8, and then my siblings too around 9. Yeah. So we used to walk about 3 hours to school at a small town called Obin in the Manso Amenfi district.
Okay.
Uh, every day. And then at a
Okay.
point, my dad realized that it was having a toll on us. Every day we had to wake up around 4 a.m., do our chores, and then leave home, walk, and then come back. So he had to find somebody for us to live with in the town.
Okay.
And so we will go on Monday morning, and then we return on Friday evening after school.
Okay.
So this is how, yeah, this is how it became later on until we left. I left when I think I left there in 1969,
Okay.
back to our hometown to continue middle school. When I finished primary school at Obey, uh, I think it was a Methodist school or so. Yeah,
Okay.
so many years ago. So, but in 1969, we had to come back to our hometown at Agmanyako to continue with middle school, Form 1, all the way to Form 4.
Okay.
Then, so I came back I left my dad again and then came back to my grandma and my mom in our hometown. And so that is where I, I, I completed middle school, as we used to call it, the middle school living
Okay.
certificate. Yeah. So
Okay.
that was about my basic education or elementary education. Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. But working for 3 hours every day, a tough one for a 7-year-old child.
Yes. Very, very tough. Very, very, very tough. In fact, sometimes, yeah, because I was very small, I can't remember exactly, but at least, yeah. So it will be even if not more, either to between 2 and 3 hours.
Okay.
About between 2 and 3 hours, and we were working every day. And sometimes we woke up, went to fetch water by the stream, went to the stream to fetch water to come and take our bath and do all the things we needed to do before setting off for school. So childhood was not easy. It was tough. It was
Wow.
tough. Yeah, and a child waking up at around 4 a.m. It's not easy. That's the time sleep was
Sweet.
sweetest. You know, but you have to wake up and be on the move. Yeah, so yeah, so it was tough, very, very tough. And my sister, who was the eldest of the twins, played a motherly role at around 9 to 10 years. You know,
Mm,
she's now at Abrodunkwa. She's a deaconess at
okay.
Abrodunkwa now.
Okay.
And I remember those days. Yes, she really used to check us and play the motherly role in the absence of our mother. So yeah, childhood was tough, but it prepared us for the journey ahead.
Ahead.
It
Great.
did.
Great. So did your upbringing affect your parenting style?
Um, I think so. Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, because my father was very strict. My father was a very, very strict father. Um, but somehow, maybe I don't know if because I was the smallest living with him. He treated me. He seemed to treat me differently from my elder siblings. Because he was very harsh on my big brother, for example. I remember those days. I realized that my dad was very harsh on him. He was very harsh on us, but he was a very strict man. But you know, later on he explained things to us, and he told us that life is tough, and so whatever he did, bringing us up, was to prepare us for life. But later on he became very, 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 how do I put it, very loving,
Friendly.
very, very kind, very understanding. Yes,
Mm,
very understanding, as opposed to when we were kids. Yeah. But he was also very particular about our education. When we
okay.
go, I remember when we returned from school, he would ask us what happened at school and all that. So yeah. And so there are aspects of my upbringing that I think unconsciously.
Hello, good evening. This is Radiant Parenting. It looks like we are having issues with internet connectivity. I hope our father, Apostle Emmanuel Tisiado retired, will join us soon. I think his network might be down. But get ready. I hope you've started enjoying the conversation already. So get your questions ready. You have something special to ask him. You have the floor as soon as we are through with him.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Andy Gifty.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. I think the line went off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was saying that, yeah, there are aspects of my upbringing that um, came into my parenting style, some unconsciously, some too consciously. Do you hear me?
Yes, please. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes. Like as I said, there are aspects. The aspect like the discipline aspect of my upbringing, the disciplinarian aspect of my dad's parenting style. Um, Unconsciously, aspect of it came into my parenting style, but I also brought my own, what I had learned in life, and then also the way of doing things in my generation,
Okay.
so that there was a balance between the strict disciplinary style of a parent and allowing the children a little bit of space, of freedom, to be free, because in our time you couldn't just uh, walk to your dad and engage him in conversation, unless maybe he calls you and he asks you questions and all that. But in my time, I decided that no, uh, I will have a different parenting style. My children must be free to must be accessible at all times. It's not that I will have to invite them to talk whenever and however they want to come to me and engage me on anything. Uh, they should have access to me as long as I'm with them, or even if I'm not immediately available. And so there are aspects of that also. So there was a balance between the old and the present, or the old and the new. Yeah, so that is how I blended the two.
Okay. Okay. So you took a bit of what you learned from your father or your parents, added yours
Yes,
to it. So your style too was
yes,
somehow unique from theirs. That is good.
yes.
So how prepared were you as a parent? What were expectations? How many children were you expecting to have? And then did you receive any kind of training before becoming a parent?
Yeah, they asked for the expectation. Yes, I wanted to have 4 children even before I got married,
The sexes?
which I discussed. Four.
For,
Four children.
what about the
Yes.
sexes? The sex, or did you want
No,
four
that
girls?
one. I wanted to have 4, but as for as for whether they are girls or boys, I didn't really.
Care match?
Um, yeah, I didn't care too much about it. But
Mm,
God graciously
hmm.
gave us two, 2 boys, 2 girls,
Wow.
which was perfect for us.
Mm,
And especially, first was a girl, second was a boy, third was a girl, fourth was a boy. So girl, boy.
wow.
you know,
A good formula.
yeah. Yes. It was amazing. Though I didn't ask that one, but God gave it to us. But I wanted to have 4 children. We discussed it before we got married. My wife was between 3 and 4. She was more in favor of about 3, but then we ended up having 4, and which was to my taste, and she also very much welcomed it. And we had our last born, our fourth born, while in missions, in our first missions in Senegal.
Okay.
Yeah, so yes, so yeah, so we had fun, and by the grace of God, it's been good. It's been good. We have tried to bring them up um, according to our Christian values, and so we have teamed up together to bring them up the way we deem fit, in accordance with our biblical and Christian values. Yes.
Okay. So how has the parenting journey been so far? What would you say about it? A little bit about where your children are.
Okay. Yeah, the parenting journey has been ups and down. I'm saying that because of the ministry that we were called into. Gipsy, I don't know if you have heard me say this before, but I think I've said it a few occasions. I, growing up, or when I started my working life, when I started working, I said to myself that I wouldn't want a job that involved transfer. You know, that
Okay.
today you are transferred here and there. Yes. In fact, I said that no, I want to stay. Um, I was in Accra. I began life actually in Accra. I came to Accra in 1974 to continue my education and then find work and all that. So since 1974, I've been in Accra. And so I decided that I will get married in Accra, have children in Accra, settle in Accra, and raise my children in Accra.
Accra
Hmm.
man.
Yeah, because something happened. Something happened when I started working. I started working with an insurance company, and one while there was an elderly man, a very called Mr. Amonu Niza. Those of you who are a bit older, you will remember we used to have a VC of KNUST, the vice chancellor of KNUST, called Professor Amonu Niza. His father, his Professor Moniniza's father was the old man I'm talking about. I used to work with him in this insurance company. He had been in the foreign service of Ghana for many years and has traveled the world over and had retired. And when he retired, this company that I was working in employed him on contract as a retired civil servant. And we used to have he took particular interest in me. He being a very old man, in fact, the oldest in the company. I think he was about 70 years or more, even at the time. And I was less than 20 when I started work. I was less than 20 years,
Okay.
and so the oldest man and the youngest person in the company, you know, so he used to engage me a lot, and we talked. And then he said that transfers, he being in the foreign service, transfers had really disorganized his life.
Oh.
And so he advised me that, hey, he said, today you are here, tomorrow you are here. And so it really, really disorganized him. It was by the grace of God that his children, but all his children anyway became, I think many of them spent their lives overseas, and a few of them also who were in Ghana. As I said, one became the vice chancellor of KNUST, and you know, it's a very noble family. But he said that his life was really disturbed because of the constant transfers, and so that thing was at the back of my mind. That advice, whether it was an advice or it was just a conversation, it registered in my mind. And so I remember at a point, my company was transferring me to Kumasi, from Accra to Kumasi, to be the deputy manager in charge of our branch in Kumasi. I had to find an excuse to tell them that no,
You
I
won't.
cannot leave Accra. Yes, so that is how strong that thing was in my mind. Um, and so when I what and that is one of the reasons why I didn't want to become an Osofo in the Church of Pentecost, because I knew that you know, an Osofo in the Church of Pentecost will have to go on a lot of transfers. And truly, when I became an Osofo, um, I went on a lot of transfers.
Mm.
Sometimes after 1 year, I arrive in a place. After 1 year, I'm transferred again. You know, it happened twice. 1 year, 1 year transfers. It happened twice, and then
Wow.
3 years. 3 years to happen twice, and then you know, so and then 4 years, and then 5 years, and all that. So, but God has been good. Now, um, our our parenting style was based on scripture. We really had to build the Christian values in our children right from the early stages,
Okay.
because yes, because most of them came during our time in ministry. Um, we There was not a particular year that we introduced them to Christ. We introduced them to Christ right from birth,
Okay.
right from birth.
Right from
And
there.
we did that with our morning devotions, regular morning devotions and all that, so that we open the Bible. And sometimes you see a 1 year old or maybe 10-month-old baby being dragged at 5 a.m. to come to the morning devotion, and it seems as if it is a bother. It is, you are being cruel, and sometimes even my wife cannot help. Say, this child is too small. He's 1 year old. Well, let's leave it. I say, no, let's bring all of them. And so yeah, we try to build that into them. And looking back, I must say that the morning devotions really, really, really helped.
Yeah.
And so they still remember some of the things that we taught them at
Mm,
morning devotions till
mm,
today. Yes, they
mm.
still remember. I once remember telling them something which they played back to me later, that I said that I told them that self-discipline is better than uh, allowing yourself to be disciplined from an outside source.
Okay.
You have to discipline yourself so that nobody
Thanks.
will discipline you from outside.
Yeah.
So the parent or teacher or whoever. So and that stuck with them even until up to today, that you need to discipline yourself until so that nobody else will discipline you. And so that really, really helped. And I also introduced to them, those days we had this video players,
Okay.
what the Ghanaians call Piamonco, this video cassette. So I will buy uh, children's videos for them uh, to watch, especially when I'm traveling or when I am outside the country, so that they will watch and also learn. And many a time we left them behind because of the ministry, but maybe we'll talk about that. We left them behind, but we tried to keep in touch. But the very early ages are very, very important. In fact, recently I was listening to one of our deaconesses who is a psychologist,
Yeah.
and
Hello. Good evening. This is Radiant Parenting. Our guest, Apostle Emmanuel JC Ado, is with us. I think he has issues with the internet connectivity. I'm sure he will join us briefly. Meanwhile, if you have questions, I encourage you to send us a message, and at the right time, we'll read out your questions. Thank you. Hello, Daddy.
hello,
Yeah, please, we can hear you now.
hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me now.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Yeah. So I was saying that. Yeah, I was saying that. I was recently listening to one of our deaconesses on Penn TV, who is a psychologist with the University of Ghana, and she said that between
Mm,
ages 0 to 5, whatever a child stores in his or her subconscious mind forms about 80 to 85% of his or her future conduct.
mm-hmm.
80 to 85% of his or her future conduct from ages 0 to 5, whatever the child stores in their subconscious mind. And I say, wow. You see, and that is why I said I didn't even know this when I was bringing up my children, but because of the Christian values that we have been taught, that train up the child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. You know, when you are a Christian, some of these things we take for granted, but they are very, 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 very good. And later on, as you study more and as you hear others teach, you realize that the Bible is very, very true.
Yeah.
And so, if a child stores enough information to influence their future conduct between ages 0 to 5, then it means that you don't train children after 10 years or
No.
after 11 years or something. Train them right from 0 until they are done. I mean, they are old. So that is how we train them with the Word of God, training them on the values of Christianity, the values of love, forgiveness, submission to authority, respect, honesty, faithfulness. These are things that are not necessarily taught. Even you don't have to leave them to Sunday school or the regular school. It has to start from the home. And by the grace of God, that is what we did. And I want to believe that it has paid off.
Wow. Thank you so much. And I like the point you shared that you started early, right from day one. The mistake we are realizing most of us make is that we wait when it's too late before we start introducing our children to
Yeah,
Christ, the things of God. You know, there's no baby Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost can use children as well as adults.
absolutely.
So the
Yes,
earlier,
it's the same Holy Spirit.
yes, sometimes
Yes,
while we are waiting for them to grow before we introduce them to the things of God, the world would have taken over. So by the time we are ready,
absolutely.
they would have lost them.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
earlier
that's true.
is always better. Good. Now,
Yeah.
I would like to find out you were international missions director for 10 solid years. 10 years. So how were you able to manage to raise them despite the fact that you had such a huge responsibility as the international missions director of the great Church of Pentecost? How did you do that? And before you do that, can you tell us where your children are? So we have
Yeah.
an idea about the kind of people that by God's grace you have been able to raise.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now the first the first lady is with her husband in the US,
Okay.
and then the second one uh, is a medical officer. Is a medical doctor who is here in Ghana. He's now with the Pentecost Hospital in Medina,
Okay.
and the third one is a lawyer who is with the husband. Incidentally, we live in the same. They live with us now. She and the
Wow.
husband live with us in our home now,
Wow.
as I speak, because of the children, because of her children. You know, they have to live with the children with us and go to work and all that. So from the beginning, they have lived with us. When
Wow.
they began to have children, they have yes, they
Good.
have lived with us, so that when both of them are going to work, they will leave the children here and go, and then they come back for them. So we are here with them. Then the last one, Ima, who is a song minister,
Mm-hmm.
is a minister junior. Yeah, Emmanuel Desiadu Junior. He's now doing his masters in Aberdeen in Scotland.
Okay.
Um, he, yeah, he finished. Uh, Legon UPSA about 4 years, is it 5 years or 4 years ago? At least 4 years ago, he finished his first degree in business management, and we wanted him to work, get some experience before going to do his master. But you know, Ghana, the situation in Ghana now is very, very difficult. And so after trying for 4 years, I said, my friend, go and so he's now in Aberdeen. doing his masters, because everywhere he went, he said, "Oh, if you have masters, it will be an advantage," and so he had to leave to go and do his masters. So yeah, so they are all doing well,
Thank God.
by God's grace. Yes. And then coming to how we combined work as ministers, and especially you refer to my days as international missions director for 10 years. You know, parenting is the job, it is the work. All others come to add to it.
Okay.
So it's not like you have a job and then
Mm-hmm.
you have to make time for parenting. No,
Okay.
parenting is the job, and you have
It's
to make time for all the other things that you do.
okay.
because all the other things came to meet me as a parent.
Okay.
Before I even became an Osofo, I was a parent,
Okay.
because my first child came. I got married. My wife and I, we got married in '87,
Okay.
and then we had our first child in '89.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was called to the ministry in '91. So even though I was in the church, I did a lot in the church as an elder, as a member, before I became a parent. But all these other things came to meet me and to came to add onto the fact that I was a parent. And
Mm-hmm.
so it is rather, I rather had to make time, say, "Oh, so how do I adjust and make time for these other things that have come?" Because if you don't do that, you will see, if you see parenting rather as as an addendum, as something, as supplementary, something that you are doing in addition to some major work that you are involved in, it will always affect your family, your
Okay.
home.
Okay.
So my mindset was that parenting was my job. All these other things, I have to
Okay.
make time for them.
Okay.
So that was how I made up my mind. And so yes, we traveled a lot. Even before I became IMD, I used to travel, because I was a missionary. We were missionaries. We went to Senegal. That was the only place we were able to take all the children with us, to Senegal.
Okay. Okay.
But yes, yeah. And when we were going, there were very little. They were little children. The eldest was, I think, six years,
Mm.
and then 4 years, and then 2.5 years or so. Um, and so and then we had the last one there. Uh, yeah, so we had to take them, and they had to start school. Some of them had to start school there. I think the
Okay.
last two had to start school there. The first two started nursery here. The first one started primary one, two here, but we had to move to Senegal, and so we had to enroll them in school over there. And so when we came back, we said to ourselves that no, if we don't take care, Senegal is a francophone country,
Yeah.
and so yeah, you know, going to a French school, I mean, a French environment, completely different from what they have been used to. It was a challenge. We had to engage teachers to teach them the French at home
Okay.
and all that. Yeah, before they can even go to school. Otherwise, then, so that is what we did. Rolling, engaging teachers for them to come and teach them French at home, and all that. Then we enrolled them in school, and very soon, as they entered school, they caught up with the system, and they did very well. I remember the second boy, who's now a doctor. They 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 were in a Catholic school, and the headmistress, who was a Catholic nun, used to call him Mon Petit Marie, my little husband. you know, and very brilliant, very, very brilliant. And he was always first, second in class, So even in the French environment where they were not familiar, and all of them, Eunice, Mana, Mame, all of them, very, very doing very well. They were always among the first three or the
Wow.
first four. So that is how it happened. And then, but when we came to Ghana, we decided we will settle them in order not to disturb their education. We will
Mm,
settle them permanently here in Ghana so that we will be going out and then coming, going and coming. But they, for the sake of their future and their education, we will settle them here. And so that is what we did. We settled them and had somebody, a relative, my big sister, to stay with them and to take care of them as we went gallivanting, doing God's work around the world. So this is what happened. But we made sure that in order to keep track of their growth
mm,
and also to keep the bond,
mm.
to keep the family bond alive, we stayed in touch. We will call them every week, every Saturday. We made sure that every Saturday we will call them. When we were
Okay.
in Switzerland, for example, yeah, every Saturday we make sure we will call them. Every Saturday we speak to all of them. We
Okay.
speak to one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. Yeah, we will call my sister's phone, and then she will give it to them. Then we talk to each one of them. And sometimes, you do parenting from a distance. I remember
Okay.
one day, one of the boys was playing when we called, not knowing he was refusing to go and take his bath, and the the guardian was having a lot of trouble convincing him to go and take his bath. So when we called and we got to know, we had to speak into it, and immediately he had to
Going
rush
back.
to take his bath because daddy has called, daddy has spoken into it. So even when you are not around, you have to stay in touch. You have to
Staying
stay in
touch.
touch. So that is how we kept the family bond going.
Good. I like what you said that parenting is the main job. The other ones rather add to it. But sometimes we turn it the other way around. We see our occupation as the main job and parenting as secondary. And it's sad enough that many of our pastors' children, in some of the cases, they don't turn out well because sometimes the balance is not there. The children don't have access to their parents. What can you say about this?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Even though I must admit that um, it's better these days than in the past, in the
Okay.
distant past.
Mm.
Yeah, and our forefathers, they were all into the ministry. Some of them, even their children's schooling and all that was affected.
Okay.
Um,
Hello, Radiant Parenting. We are having our dear father, Apostle Emmanuel J.C. Addo, a retired minister of the Church of Pentecost, sharing his parenting experiences with us. Please, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel to continue to have such wonderful content from us. I think he's maybe having issues with the internet connectivity. We hope to get him back on the line very soon. Meanwhile, if you have questions, it's almost time. You can share your questions in the chat or send us your questions and we'll get him to answer them as soon as possible. Thank you for joining us. We hope to have him back soon. Hello, Apostle. Hello. 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 you are with us. What's your thoughts so far? What have you learned so far? Have you picked any insights? One thing I've learned is that our father told us that parenting is the main job. Other ones are secondary. And how do you fit into this description? Oftentimes, we give so much attention to other things, much to the detriment of of the children that God has so generously and lavishly blessed us with. What is your take? What do you have to say? We hope to get our father back on the call soon. Please stay tuned.
In this day and age, many of us are concerned about what we consume, and rightly so. As the saying goes, you are what you eat. One of the products to consider taking in daily is probiotic yogurt. Fresh Dew yogurt is one of the best yogurts that you can find on the market. It is loaded with live bacteria which promote your gut health. Your gut is the foundation of your health. It aids in the digestion of the foods you eat, absorbs nutrients, and uses it to fuel and maintain your body. Fresh Dew yogurt also boosts your immune system, enabling you to enjoy good health. And again, if you are concerned about weight loss, a daily consumption of Fresh Dew yogurt will help you to achieve your goal. How about those of you suffering from bad cholesterol? Fresh Dew yogurt is the solution that you have been looking for. This and many more are the benefits that you stand to gain when you consume Fresh Dew yogurt. For your parties, weddings, engagements and funerals, and any other occasion, don't hesitate to contact us on 0544 922 386.
Hello, good evening once again. This is Radiance Parenting. We are having a wonderful discussion with our father, Apostle Emmanuel Jesse Ado, retired. Good. You are welcome. I think you will not go
Yes,
again.
thank
Yeah,
you.
that.
Yeah. Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, this, I mean, technology. So these are
Mhm.
the challenges we have with technology. So, yeah. So as I was saying, now the situation is a bit better, but it's not 100%. And so many are so engrossed in their jobs and whatever profession they are involved into, the neglect of the home, of the children. Um, these days, I think the awareness is coming. The awareness is coming. We are teaching more and more, and we need to do that. But in the past, in some time past, it used to be the case that the work became more important than the home, and so it affected the children. Um, and I read on 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 WhatsApp a case that happened somewhere, that somebody put on WhatsApp that a certain pastor uh, was no, I think he died. I think he died. And then when they were giving the testimonies, and when you look at the attitude of his children at the funeral, when everybody else was singing the praises of the pastor, the children couldn't care less. You know,
Mm.
they well, their lives did not reflect the kind of ministry the man, did for the Lord. And it's very, very sad. When I read that story many years ago, that somebody put on WhatsApp, I said that this is sad, but we need to teach our ministers, or constantly remind them that the home is this is the work.
Yeah.
All others, yes, all others we must find time for all the other things, but this is the real one, because that is the first church. Your home is the first church,
Yeah.
especially if you're a pastor. Even if you are not a pastor, you are whatever you are. You are an accountant, you are a teacher, you are whatever. The home, so long as you're a Christian, the home is the first church. And so I think teaching, constant teaching and reminder will bring us back on track. Yes.
Okay. That's great. And would like to know how you were able to manage your children, their teenage years, and then sibling rivalry. We have first girl, first child is a daughter, son, daughter. How did you manage their upbringing, sibling rivalry, teenage years? How did you do that? Did you ever have time to talk to them about sex and all that? Were you able to do that? You can please share some light on that.
Um, that yes, that one. Yeah, we used to talk to them a lot on life in general, but the specific cases of, say, sex education, and for the women or for the girls, how to take care of yourself. I mean, expecting your first, what do you call it, menses. You're
Mm-hmm.
expecting your first menses and how to take care of yourself. That one,
You did
mommy
that.
really did that. Yes,
Good.
mommy really did that.
Fantastic.
Yes. Yeah. She really did that, and then and because she was also most of the time at home,
Okay.
she took care of that kind of thing, and especially during their adolescent years.
Mm,
I would say that mommy did more of the work in terms of um, being with them, talking to them.
okay.
I will always come in once in a while, especially during our. I will provide the pastoral care for the home during our morning devotions.
Okay.
I use the morning devotions to address some of these things, the issues of life and so on. But mommy will come direct. Apart from the morning devotions, the other times when mommy will have to engage them directly and talk to them about physiological and biological issues.
Okay.
Uh, yes, and all that. So that is how we manage it. I remember one time when we were somewhere outside, and then sometimes when the children are not with their parents,
Mm-hmm.
it's not easy. And,
Mm.
and sometimes, no matter how good the caretaker is, they once you discipline them, they will take offense, and it, and they will behave as if because you are not their parent, that's how you are
Mm-hmm.
treated, and sometimes there's the tendency of you know doing their own thing and all that. So sometimes when we hear reports like that, I remember we were somewhere outside the country. Mommy had to come down. I had to release her to come and address certain situations, uh, taking the children through fasting and prayer.
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
uh, taking them through
Wow.
fasting and prayer. Yes.
Wow.
In order to address certain
Issues.
issues. Yes, true. As for sibling rivalry, um, I observed them from afar. Uh, when they came of age, when they grew. Sometimes when I take them in my car and we are going somewhere, you will see or hear glimpses of it, and then you will find a way of addressing it, of addressing the issues and talking to them, engaging them, and talking to them. No, 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 you don't do that. You don't talk to your sister like that. You don't talk to your brother like that. Because you have to teach them how to relate with their siblings. They should know who is the senior and
Mm-hmm.
who is and the junior and all that. So we address all that from time to time. Yeah, from time to time. Children will always be children, whether
Yeah.
they are the Pope's children, or that is the Pope who has children. Whether they are
Oh,
the Pope's children or Archbishop children, they always be children. So you
I,
really have
I,
to.
I am these children.
Or
No, so
IMD's children or the chairman's children. They'll always be children. And so you have to open your eyes and your ears, and so that you see, and that is why it is very important that as parents you have to be there for the children.
okay.
You have to be there for them. You don't have to neglect um, paying attention to them. You have to open your eyes, you have to open your ears, so that you can address things as they emerge,
Exactly.
as they start, as they begin. You don't have to wait till things will go on before you address it. No, it will destroy relationships and all that. And so immediately you see anything that uh, appears untoward, you have to address it
Exactly.
immediately. Yeah. So that is how you've been doing.
Okay. So you are now grandparents.
Yes, we are, by God's grace.
How does that compare to when you were raising your children? Is there any difference? What's your experience so far as grandparent, as a proud
Yes.
grandfather?
Yeah. There's a difference. There's a vast difference. Training or bringing up your own children is far demanding than uh, bringing up grandchildren, because when you are bringing up your own children, you are involved with every area of their lives, every
Mm,
area of their lives, their moral life, their spiritual life, their educational life, their family life, their social life. You are involved in all of it. And you have to, as I said, you have to open your eyes and ears to listen and to see, observe, and to address things. Even the educational life, the subjects they are doing at school, you have to be involved with it. The kind of course they are choosing, the kind of school they want to attend. Yes, you have to leave them the space to choose, yeah, but you have to be involved in the decision making, and all that. So I remember our children, the boys went to Presec, they gone Presec, and then
okay.
the girls, both girls also went to Holy Child in Cape Coast,
Oh, I
you know.
see.
And yeah, we decided all that together, with them. We decided all that together. So both girls attended Holy Child, Holy Co, they call it, in Cape Coast, and then the boys attended Presec
Percent.
in Lagos. Yes, so you have to. But when it comes to grandchildren, their parents take care of all those. Yours is just to be there.
Pamper them.
Yes, to pamper them, to teach them, to be an example to them, to protect them. But you are not so much involved with the big decisions of their life, like education, what school they have to attend, what subjects.
Wow, I hope we don't lose him again. Hello. This is Radiant Parenting. We are just about ending a wonderful interaction with our father, Emmanuel Jesse Ado. He's sharing his experiences with us as a parent is sharing how the experience is as a grandfather compared to
Yes.
when he was raising his own children. Yeah, we have you back again.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah. So that's what I was saying. Yeah, raising your own children is more demanding. As for as a grandparent, you are involved with the children, but there are many of the big decisions are taken by the parents themselves. That is the children's parents, and you are just there to to provide. I mean, to serve as a hedge for the children, for the grandchildren. You observe, you serve as an example to them. Yes, some of the things you taught your children, if the children are with you, you can teach them. But when it comes to the things I've mentioned, as their educational life, uh, the schools they will attend, the subjects they will do, the courses they will do, those are things that you are not, unless you are invited into it, you are not necessarily part of the decision making. Their parents will make those decisions. So yeah, this is about. But parenting is an ongoing. In fact, when we became grandparents, I realized that parenting never stops.
Okay.
Parenting never stops. You still keep parenting these small ones too, in a way. You have to supervise the one who, when they go to school, the one who's taking them to school, the one who's bringing them to school. That is, if it is not their parents who are taking them and somebody else, like in our case, the parents have employed somebody who takes them to school and brings them. And you, the grandparents, you have to supervise all these things.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, and so in a way, it is a continuation of parenting, and
Okay.
they will come. The children, the grandchildren will come. Hey, grandpa, my grandma, and all the complaints. You know, I said, I thought I was done with parenting. Why am I starting all over again?
Oh,
I thought,
wonderful.
yeah, you think you are done with parenting, but then you realize you are starting all over again. But
All
it's
really.
interesting. It's very, very interesting. It's
Wow.
interesting. They make
Yeah,
the
well,
house. They make
very
the house
likely.
very, very lively. Yes, very lively.
Wow. So, so my last part one question. We have one question for you, which I'll read soon. How did you keep the family bonded? How do you make fun? Is it all about morning devotion? Or do you make time to go out with the children, have fun with them? How do you do that? Or is there any particular sport that you practice with them?
Okay. Well, not necessarily. I remember, apart from the time we were together in Senegal, those times, and they still do remember those times. When I Most of the time when I take them from school, I will take them out. Before we get home, I will take them out, and children, even though there's food at home, they fancy buying them some burger, some shawarma, some ice cream, and all that. So I remember when I picked them from school, I would take them out, get some shawarma, some drinks. We will sit. Sometimes we will sit there and then uh, have our shawarma and drinks and or ice cream and that before we drive home. So that happened a lot of the time when we were in Senegal. They were very small then, but when we came back because of constant travel and we didn't do that a lot. We didn't do that a lot. Maybe once or twice, and that's
Okay.
about all. Yes. But what I remember very well, what I did, which mommy almost always reminds them of, and what talks about is when I'm available, when I'm at home, especially as a father. You see how these children would come. They would come on top of you, playing, laughing, and ah, and the mom will say, "Oh, you think you are as strong as them, eh? And then we'll be playing in the home, running here and there,
That's
ah."
fun.
So it's good taking them out and entertaining them and all that. Very, very good. I mean, once in a while, if you can do that, it helps. But
Okay.
more importantly, at home, let them know, let them have a feel of fatherhood and motherhood. Yeah, it's not always you didn't do this right, you didn't always
Yeah.
pointing out the mistakes. No, let them feel that they are at home. The mother is there, father is there. Encourage them. When they go wrong, yeah, of course, you point it out to them. Um, I didn't use to. I didn't use the cane a lot. I remember I used it a few. I can
Okay.
maybe count on my fingertips the number of times I may have used the cane. Just, just a few times. But
Okay.
not unlike our time when But we most of the time we used advice, um, and all that. And we, as I said, we bonded through playing at home, having fun, laughing,
Okay.
running, coming to their level, and engaging them at their level and playing and having fun. So that is a much better way. It builds them up emotionally. You
Okay.
know, it does a lot of good to their emotions and to their self worth and their self esteem.
Okay.
Um, and then one other thing that maybe I would say in passing or before we end, you see, you have to study the children and see their strengths and their weaknesses,
Great.
each of them,
Yeah. Yeah.
each of them. Study
Mm.
them, observe them, and see their strengths, encourage them in their strengths and their weaknesses. You address them lovingly and help them to overcome. I remember at one time when before before I became international missions director, I realized that one of the children, I don't know whether it's because we were not at home most of the time and all that. She had become a bit timid,
Mm.
and yes, and not out outspoken as the others, and all that. And so I decided that at that time I had made some savings, and I wanted to. I was saving towards their higher education, their university education at that time. But when I looked at her, I said, no, I want to sponsor her to travel, to travel to, and stay with a pastor friend of mine outside in Europe, outside the country, to go for just about 3 weeks or 1 month.
Wow.
Because I know that the children of that pastor, they are
Outgoing.
assertive, they're going, And so I had to sacrifice my saving and got a visa, a UK
Wow.
visa for her to go. And I tell you, I think she spent 1 month there and came back on her 18th birthday.
Wow.
I did that on her 18th birthday. At that time, I was not IMD. I was, and when she came back, her confidence had gone through the roof. It had gone through, I tell you, it had gone through the roof. And when we sit down and engage, I realized that, hey, now I was really wondering whether I had done the right thing because, but I think
It
it
paid
did a lot
off.
of, yes, it paid off. So not every parent will have that opportunity or that financial muscle. I didn't have a lot, but the little I was saving for their university education, I said, let me sacrifice it to build up that aspect of her emotional life and then God will take care of the rest. So that's what I did, and it paid off. So I want to thank God for that.
Wow. Wow. So it means that with parenting, you have to be very intentional.
Oh
Other than
yes,
that, you miss it.
yes. You have to be very intentional and very observant and
Observant,
very
intentional,
proactive.
very proactive.
Yes, very proactive. Yes, I remember the one who is a doctor now.
Mm.
He went to Presec, finished Presec, went to Legon and finished Legon, did his bachelor's in Legon and finished too. He was given biological sciences. He did it and finished. But when he was, I think about 6 months to his final year, I decided that when he finishes, because I don't know what he was going to do with biological sciences, a
Okay.
bachelor in BSc in biological sciences. What is he going to do if he doesn't get the money to do the masters somewhere or to teach another? So I engaged him whether, and I saw that he was not interested in teaching or anything. I said, okay, and what about sponsoring you to do medicine? And he said, yeah, he will welcome that. He said now he was ready because I wanted to do that when he finished presec, but after he was very young. He was very young, and so I realized that he was not ready. But when he finished University of Ghana, before he went out and did 6 years of medicine and came back and did 1 year of the top up here with the Ghana Medical and Dental Council before he was enrolled onto the Ghana system. So you have to be intentional, as we said, and then proactive. You have to be
Proactive.
proactive. Yes.
You have to be
You don't have.
observant.
Yes, or no observant. Yes.
Okay. Good. I have a question for you here. It goes this way. Daddy, you were very intentional about your parenting and your children's life now. Attest to that. Any books you would recommend to us which helped you or you relied more on the Holy Spirit's guidance?
That's a good question. Thank you, Franklina. Yes. I think yeah, we read books. We read books, but I think that my upbringing in church played my upbringing in church and my own upbringing, as a child, all combined to play a role in bringing up the children. When you go to church, when you are in a good church, like by the
Yeah.
grace of God,
Church
like
of
we
Pentecost.
have, where a lot of teaching goes on, there are certain things you pick unconsciously, which
Yeah.
yeah, come into play as you do anything in life, including raising children. So I wouldn't say that I read particular books, even though there are books. I have a lot of books in my shelf, like books by on parenting, some by Western writers, some by Professor Day. I have some one Dr. Dobson. I think he's an American. He's an
James Dobson.
American yeah, James Dobson. Yes,
Mm.
James Dobson, and then Professor Day and all that. Yeah, there are books that would help you to give you some insight into raising children and leading the family and all that. But most importantly, your own relationship with God, your Christian orientation should stand you in a good stead to be able to bring up your children in the way of the Lord. Yes.
Good. That is great and very insightful because the children look more at what you do than what you even say.
It's true.
Good. So, my last but one question: from hindsight, are there things you wish you had done another way? I think we have lost our father again. Hello. Hello. Hello, viewers. This is Radiant Parenting. We are having an interesting session with our father, a retired minister.
Oh, hello.
Hello, yeah. Good.
Yes. Yeah, you were asking a question that from hindsight, what?
Are there things you wish you had done another way as a parent?
Uh, hmm. Apart from what I said earlier about um, not living, not going on transfer, and so having to leave your children behind. That is the only thing that if I have to do it over again, and if I had the choice, uh, I wouldn't want to leave the children,
Okay.
yeah, behind with somebody, to help with the upbringing. If as a parent, if you have the opportunity to be there yourself to train them, it's the ideal.
Yeah.
Even though others also coming in to help, also let the children know the other side of life.
Okay.
They also learn other things that they may otherwise not learn from you, or not get from you, whether good or bad. So, but ideally, if I had my way and had to live life again, I would, and if it's possible, I would pray that every parent will have
Yeah.
time to raise their own children, to be with them. But life is not a straight jacket.
No, it's not.
You wouldn't get it the way you want all the time, but you have to make do with what you have. So whatever life throws at you, you have to find a way of adjusting and making the best out of it.
Out of it. That's great. Now, your last word for parents of today, the younger ones like me that are raising their children. Some are working in the corporate world. They are working, they are doing their master's program. Some are doing PhD. They get home late. What do you have to tell them? What advice would you give them? What do you have to tell parents of today so that we can raise the next generation purposefully? With some years to come, you will be no more. I may be no more. It's the ones that we are raising that are going to take over. What do you have to say about how we are raising them?
Yeah. Um, I would say that if maybe as a recap to what has already been said, I think that parents must know, like the Bible says, that the children are a heritage
From the Lord.
of the Lord. They are the heritage of the Lord. They are the Lord's heritage. It means they we are the caretakers, you know, on behalf of God who has entrusted his heritage to us. And so they must see parenting as the main job, as I said. Um, yes, life may call us to do all these other things that you have mentioned, corporate world, studying, doing this, doing that. If you are a minister, if you are a pastor, if you are a teacher, if you are this and that, businessman, contractor, you are so busy. But remember that your home is your first responsibility.
Okay.
Your home is your first responsibility. You should keep in mind. Yes. And so we should always have time for the home. It's very, very important. And then also we should teach the children, as we intentionally raise the children, we should teach them to do things for themselves, home things, home chores. Some homes, it is good if you have somebody, some people we call the house helps to help us in the house. It is good, but some do it to the extreme.
Yeah.
They leave all the work on the so-called house helps and the house boys and all that, and then the children do virtually nothing else except go to school and come and eat and sleep. Unfortunately, um, some ladies have grown up knowing very little of the important thing that you mothers know best to do in the home, like cooking, like doing things to keep the home clean and neat, and the boys too. And so we have to, as we find time for them, all these things, we will know that, yeah, this one is falling short in this area. A boy, a young boy, a child who eats and then goes to dump the plates at the kitchen or somewhere for the house help to wash. It's not the best.
Yeah.
It's not the best. Yes, we should tell them, no, if you eat, you have to wash your own plate. You know, if you wake up from your bed, you have to make your own bed. And then also, as I said, the morning devotions, you have to try, even though you have to leave home very early. If you can't do it in the morning, do it in the evening. But by
Okay.
all means, do it. Yes. So it's very, very, very important. Very important. Let's give them a good Christian foundation. Um, let's avoid certain things, giving them a bad example in the home, like um, insults, bad mouthing other people in the presence of the children, and all that. These things are very bad. Maybe just yesterday, I stumbled upon somebody sent as if the person knew I was going um, to address parenting today. Somebody dropped something on the platform, and if you have just a few minutes,
Okay.
I wanted to let me see if I will find it. Yes, I think I will. Um, yes, some some responses of children. Some It says a meeting was held in Abuja, and this is the summary of. It said a children department meeting with parents on 2nd October 2023 at an Abuja gathering. And they asked the children three questions. Three. The first question is, what are your parents doing that you do not like but afraid to tell them? That's the first one. The second one is, what would you like them to start doing? What would you like your parents to start doing? And the third one is, what are your little secrets? What your parents do not know you are involved in. And if they were to know, they will be shocked to their bones. And these were the responses. To the first one, question number one, what are your parents doing that you do not like but afraid to tell them? It says parents fight and quarrel and insult each other in front of their children. And these are children between the ages of 6 and 12.
Wow.
6 and 12. Some children see their parents engage in sexual acts, and that made them always think about it.
Oh.
It means that somehow, when the parents are doing that, they are not conscious of the presence of the children, and in order to be discreet about it. And then this one, well, parents should stop drinking and smoking. That one is for, you know, and then parents nag a lot. Because of time, I'm just running through. I don't want to explain things. Parents rain curses on them when the children make them angry. Parents cheating, mom on dad and dad on mom, and these children are aware. And then the parents don't have time for them. Parents do not know anything about their children. You see, this is what I've been addressing. Parents who do not know anything about their children, their strengths, their weaknesses. Their parents should stop comparing them with other children to ridicule them. Parents watch bad films, and some of these children sit with them watching too. So that's for question one. Question two, so, what would you like your parents to start doing to create opportunities for children to express themselves freely? Have family dinner and a time for family chats. See, mom and dad to love themselves. A lot of the children said this.
Okay.
A lot of the children, this was very important to them, mom and dad to love themselves. 4, call them good names like you shall be great, you shall be successful, not raining curses on them. Build confidence in the children. Yes. Mom should advise, this is also very important. They said their mommies should advise them in a good way, not to tell the children to do what is wrong. It means that some of them, especially the mothers, teach the children to do wrong. And what they are telling the children themselves know that what mommy is saying, telling us is wrong. If daddy gets to know, he will not allow the mommy go. Okay, and then the big one. What are your little secrets? What your parents do not know you are involved in, and if they know, they will be shocked to their bones. 1, engaging in sexual acts with relatives, cousins, brothers, sisters, aunties, classmates, neighbors. Most are already in relationship. These little children, 12 years, 11 years, they are already in relationship, but their parents do not know. Some teenagers are already dating married men. Masturbation, pornography, abuse by school teachers, suicidal thoughts, taking money from parents' purses and wallets, that is stealing. 2 children said they always have sex and their parents do not know and do not care. 1 is contemplating abortion. 2 less than 7-year-old girls are already practicing lesbianism. Less than 7 years. Friends are teaching them sex acts in school. They spy on mommy when she is taking her bath. The children know. Can you imagine? Very bad. So he said these are but a few of the responses of the children. So we need to do more as parents. And as I said, we need, and so that's why, because of this and more, we need to be intentional. That's why it's important that we are intentional, and we should not be reactive. We should wait to play the fire service role when there is fire before we rush to go and douse the fire. No, we should be intentional. We should be proactive. And so this is how I will wrap up.
Wow. If you were in Sparkling Jewels, my school would clap for you. Great. What? Good, great, excellent, super. Great, excellent, super.
Yeah.
So, Daddy, that was good. That was great. That was super. You've shared a lot with us. I've learned a lot. I've learned that parenting is the main job, and you practice it because I know your children. I've seen them, so you are not just sharing something that you didn't practice. Despite your very busy schedule, you made time for them. You tried. You did your best, and it's worthy of emulation. We want to say a big thank you for making time to join us today. We hope to have you again another time. So on this note,
Another time, yes.
thank you. We are grateful you passed by. God bless you. Greetings to Mommy and your beautiful children.
All right.
And to hope to meet them soon. Thank you. Have a good
Amen.
evening. Good.
But we are waiting for you. You have to visit. You and I have to visit.
Oh, come. It's a promise. God is my witness.
I promise on my honor.
So So welcome. God bless you so much. Yeah,
Okay,
so
God
viewers,
bless you.
we bring our discussion to a close. We encourage you to subscribe to our channel. We have wonderful programs for you in the near future. Thank you for joining us and have a good evening. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
In this day and age, many of us are concerned about what we consume, and rightly so. As the saying goes, you are what you eat. One of the products to consider taking in daily is probiotic yogurt. Fresh Dew yogurt is one of the best yogurts that you can find on the market. It is loaded with live bacteria which promote your gut health. Your gut is the foundation of your health. It aids in the digestion of the foods you eat, absorbs nutrients and uses it to fuel and maintain your body. Fresh Dew yogurt also boosts your immune system, enabling you to enjoy good health. And again, if you are concerned about weight loss, a daily consumption of Fresh Dew yogurt will help you to achieve your goal. How about those of you suffering from bad cholesterol? Fresh Dew yogurt is the solution that you have been looking for. This and many more are the benefits that you stand to gain when you consume Fresh Dew yogurt. For your parties, weddings, engagements and funerals, and any other occasion, don't hesitate to contact us on 0544 922 386.